It's time now for the Business of Health, brought to you by Hancock Regional Health. Well, we are currently in breach season when businesses can perhaps be more prone to hackers. Hancock Regional Hospital recently fell victim to a ransomware attack known as SamSam and enlisted the help of tech company Pondurance to contain the incident and recover the infected system. Now, for more on what happened and how you can take precautions to reduce potential cyber attacks, we turn now to Hancock Regional CEO Steve Long and also Pondurance founding partner Ron Pelletier. And gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Ron, I'll start with you. I mentioned in the intro there, this being breach season. What do you mean, and why is this particularly more attractive to hackers this time of year?
Sure. So we try not to talk too flippantly about breach season. It's a very serious matter. The reality is, though, is that there's a period of time in a year, and it's typically February through April, in which we see an increase, sometimes as much as 80 to 90% in that given period, based on the average of reported breaches. And so looking at that historical data led us to wonder why. What is it about this time? The immediate things that jump out, of course, tax season. That always brings about the propensity for attacks and fraud. But what we've seen too are these outside actors, these bad actors, attackers, whatever you want to profile them with. They treat their organization like a business. What they want to do is take the period of the year prior, third, fourth quarter, and start to weaponize their tools, figure out their strategies. Then they'll typically spend fourth quarter in doing their reconnaissance and probes, finding a foothold, getting ground inside of a network. Yep. And then from there, it's a matter of when they decide to actually effectuate what it is they're trying to do. Your
company, Pondurance, has a diverse portfolio of clients, do a lot in the healthcare space, though. Hancock Regional was hit by an attack in January.
Yeah, it was. And so it was an interesting event. It was January 11th. It was 3:30 in the morning. We run our security operations center at our downtown office 24 hours. And the call came in, and by 4 a.m., half an hour later, we were engaged with Hancock to be able to provide the initial services. So our goal was to come in, find out what was going on, contain the incident, and then provide additional incident response services to prevent it from propagating.
And Steve, you made the decision. I'm sure it was a chaotic kind of situation. You've got a lot of preparation in advance for these things, but to pay the ransom, right, of $55,000 or so in Bitcoin, pay the ransom to solve the situation.
We did, and so there was, as you're right, it was chaotic. And can you imagine that it's about midnight on that night, and we have completely shut down all of our computer systems, and then you have to recover from that. So there were three things that we had to know. One, were our patients safe? Because so much clinical equipment is now integrated in information systems. So we satisfied that idea really quickly. And then could we understand what had happened and how do we protect patient information? And then thirdly, how do we quickly get back up to speed? Only two ways to do that. Either you back up and restore from the backups, or you purchase the decryption keys, or you pay the ransom. That's where we brought these guys in, because they were professionals in this area. They brought the insight and the information, the expertise to us that allowed us to make a good decision at the time.
Yeah. As you look fast forward to today and just the process, especially in the sensitive information you deal with, it's got to be a constant evolution, I guess, in trying to protect against these things.
Well, it is indeed. And typically what we see is that malicious emails come through the system. Somebody would click on a link, and that did not happen here. We were very well prepared for that. This was a directed attack against our network from a criminal enterprise. And so when you start to think that there are people that are actually out there to get folks like us, it really gives you a pause.
Yeah. Had a positive outcome on this one here, Ron, but is your message to businesses, whether it's healthcare or otherwise, is there kind of a central message when it comes to cybersecurity and preventing this kind of thing?
Yeah, there is, and a lot of it becomes, you can't be static in your defense. You can't rely solely on technology, and I think a lot of companies still believe that technology is going to be their savior when it comes to preventing a breach. The reality is that as the outside actors the attackers, they get more sophisticated, they find ways to circumvent that technology, then that is them upping their game. And so your adversary is a human. If you don't think like a human in your defense, then chances are your defense is not going to be enough.
All right, it's timely information as we're in breach season right now, very important for businesses of all types. Ron Pelletier, the founding partner at Pondurance, and also Steve Long, the CEO at Hancock Regional. Thank you very much.
Thank you.